What's up everyone? So today we're going to be going over the OSPF LSA types. And since OSPF is an open standard, this is the same no matter if you're using Juniper, Cisco, whatever. So as you can see on your screen, we have multiple OSPF LSA types, and they each serve a purpose in order to exchange routes with other routers. So we have type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So we're going to be going over each of these and really quickly, just a quick overview of all the LSA types. So first off, we have type 1. This is the router LSA. So this is how a router advertises its connected links within an area. The important thing to note is that type 1 LSAs do not leave the local area. So let's say you have area 0 over here, and you have routers in here connected. So how they advertise each other's links is through a type 1 LSA. And once again, these will not leave the local area. So also, another area local type is type 2, which is the network LSA. As you know that in OSPF you can have a shared segment between routers. So let's say that you have over here you have a couple routers connected via a hub or something. So in that segment, the DR will advertise a type 2 LSA, which is the network for that shared segment. And that cuts down on the number of LSAs that we have to keep in our database and keep updating, because as you know, within an area, all routers have to have the same view of the network, or they have to have the same link state database built in order to calculate the shortest path tree. So that's type 2. Next we have type 3, and type 3 is the summary LSA. So let's add another area over here. We'll say area 1, and you have an ABR, then you have routers over here in each area. So the ABR is responsible for generating type 3s to translate network LSA or network or router LSAs from one area to the other area. So since each router within the area knows everything about its area, type 3 is how it learns about routes in other areas that are not external. So this is, and type 3s are something that you can filter if you would like at the ABR. Next up, we'll skip type 4 for a second and go to type 5, which is the external. So now that we have two areas, let's say that we have a different routing protocol over here. Let's say EIGRP or BGP or another OSPF process, whatever. So you have an ASBR now. And that ASBR is responsible for translating the external routes and putting them into OSPF. So whenever it does that, it will create a type 5 LSA to describe the external networks. So when it puts it into OSPF, it will create type 5. And the important thing to note about type 5s is that when it makes it, it will make type 5, and that will go throughout the domain, even if you have another area, and it won't be modified. The next hop won't be modified. So routers in area 5 over here will see the type 5 LSA come in with the next hop of the ASBR in area 1. So what if those routers don't know how to get to the ASBR in area 1? Well, that's why we have type 4. type 4 LSAs say, or let's say, or the ABR here and here will make the type 4. And it will say, in order to get to the ASBR, go through me. I know how to get there. So the router here will make a type 4 and say, in order to get to the ASBR that you received in your type 5, go through me. And then the ABR over here will do the same thing. So that way every device knows how to get back to the ASBR, and that traffic can go out or in, whatever. Alright. So now that we have type 4 and 5, let's move on to type 7, which is the NSSA external. So, in a stub area, you know that you can't have type 5 LSAs. So if you got GRP over here connected to a area that is a NSSA, not so stubby area, how do you get the routes into the OSPF? Because type 5 is not allowed. Well, the ASBR will make a type 7. And type 7 is the same as type 5. However, it will only be a type 7 within the not so stubby area. Once the ABR that's at the not so stubby area gets it, it will translate it into a type 5. And then it will be sent through the domain as normal. So type 7 is just pretty much a way to get around the concept that you can't have a external type 5 LSA in a stub area. Alright, and that's a quick overview of the LSA types. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.